What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with an all new episode of Family or Fiancé. Sorry that this review is later. I had some thinking to do about how I wanted to go about this video because this episode was really interesting, but was also really confusing. I did not know how to go about my opinions because my feelings of this episode have changed throughout the episode. I'm gonna let you know where it changes. So we see Sayyora and JD. I recognize Sayyora because she was on the season 16 of the Bad Girls Club, and I follow her on Instagram. She's an Instagram model, and she's a very beautiful girl. Even on her season, I thought she was, the cool, one of the cool girls who did not get into it, but when she did, she definitely stood her ground. She definitely stood her own. She was very outspoken. So the way that she acted this episode, it definitely changed some things about her that I automatically thought I did from her being on this type of platform. Bad Girls Club franchise now into the Family Fiance. Let's see. So they met on a dating app. And when she was preparing for her LSATs to get into law school, she met him. And he says she's very intelligent, she's a positive person. So it's going to be a different week coming into them because they both come from two different cultures. She is from Uzbekistan, which is in Russia, so she's Russian. And in her culture, it is very traditional for the man to be the breadwinner. Even though the women worked and was educated, the man was still the one taking care of the bills. So they can't get around JD's financial footing, aka he doesn't have a job. So her mom doesn't really like that she's pretty much using her income to pay everything. And she's using her OnlyFans, but she's saying a subscription-based website to pay for bills. So she meets with Tracy. They look around the house. House all good. This is a big ass house. Okay. So he said this is his first relationship that he's been in. I don't believe him because JD doesn't strike me as a type of guy that has a problem meeting girls. So as far as relationship wise, maybe not a full-blown relationships, but I believe he's had relations, possibly entanglements, possibly situationships, you know what I'm saying? But a full-blown relationship, this is new for him. And he was focused on playing football professionally. I don't know if he was in college playing football or he was automatically in the drafting section of playing football. I don't know, but he instantly just saw Sayyora, wanted to pretty much hop onto her and quit everything that he has pretty much was pushed into focusing on, which is football and being a football player. And it was a hard commute between him going to school for football and being with her. It was a 2-hour commute. So what did he do? Drop football altogether and lived with her without even a discussion, just instantly stay too late. This overnight stay became a everyday stay. And they never talked about it. And he says she didn't want the boyfriend-girlfriend title. She says, not that I didn't say that. We just never had a conversation because he just moved in and never left. So I don't know if Sayyora was pressured into moving in with him or pressured into allowing him to stay because something. I instantly thought, I'm like, Sayyora is not this dumb to allow a man to just switch up and push her into having a man stay at her place. I don't know. Like, again, I'm basing off of how she was on her season of Bad Girls Club. But I know years have changed, years have gone. She's probably have changed. So the fact that she allowed it, he must have pressured her into a way where if you don't have me, you can't have me. He did something to make her feel guilty that he had to stay. So basically, Tracy wants to find out the timeline of how they, met and the relationship. She said, we met on November 1st. In January, I cheated. And was like, okay. So y'all was pretty much together or talking for 3 months. And she cheated on him because she did not think that they were exclusive. I want to understand exactly where was it where he pushed himself into living with you. That's where I want to understand, and how you probably needed a way to escape by being from under him, so you cheated on someone. And I'm not saying that she was looking around to find someone to cheat, but I think she needed a way of escaping because she could not fully express that I did not think you'd be living here within 3 months. Did I invite that? I don't think I invited that. If I did, that's shame on me for thinking that I invited that. But no, I think that JD thought of a come up. I think he wanted to come up, and he found someone who obviously JD don't like. If you watch reality TV, the girls that you've seen on TV, and the Bad Girls Club was the biggest reality star coming in, especially in 2000s. Like, please, I loved it. I've started watching when Tanisha got on her season and stayed all the way into the final season. So if you are of that reality TV world, I think you knew what type of fame you might get when you hop onto someone who's on a reality show. So then, finding out that she cheated, he kept it from her for 6 months and then practically guilted her into making sure that she never does it again. Like, she pretty much has to walk on eggshells when she does things. The same way how she goes about things. He keeps on reminding her, like, he literally put in his mind, I'm gonna get revenge on her for cheating on me with knowing 6 months. He has something to gain, and he has something to throw over her head to make her feel bad for cheating. He definitely guilt tripped her through everything, moving in, making sure they stay in this relationship, even slapping the ring on her finger. He trapped her. So then, find about the proposal. Again, he trapped her. He wanted to hurry and put a ring on it because he's probably in fear that she can do better. He's in fear that she can find another man who can put his weight, put what he has to offer on the table versus than what she do. And he said he hasn't been focusing on his football career. He felt like he would be in the midst of losing her than losing football, but he lost anyway. You lost what you practically worked your heart, worked everything in your life for to follow her. You think that it wouldn't have worked if you guys, I can't even say long distance, a way for y'all to come up with a way to make this better? No, you had to hop onto her and make sure you followed her every move. Like a stalker. So the financial strain, it's on her 100% of the time because, like she says, she has a subscription-based website, aka OnlyFans, where she posts lingerie pictures, sexy pictures, bikini pics, and she gets paid for it, along with her social media presence on Instagram. And she's only doing it until she completes law school, so she's been doing this her entire time. And obviously, it will be a weight that she has to pay for everything, and he's not doing shit. What are you doing? So, like she said, the women in her family are educated, but the man is the main breadwinner. So since his focus has been on football, he had to find other ways to make money. So he went to real estate. So obviously, real estate is a hustle game. You're not gonna make no money until you actually make a sale. You trust, you man trust. So their task is cooking and conversations with Sayyora and his family, and he has fears in the house with her family. Arrival, we got her family, which is Karina, her cousin, Saida, who's her mother, and Camila, who is her aunt. On JD's family, we got JD Sr., JD Jr., his sister, Amaris. Oh, I already said his name is JD. I have an uncle JD, but the fact that I'm like, is this like a third, second thing? I mean, why'd you name him JD? Like, all of them. You couldn't come up with a different name for them? I mean, JD Jr. I can give, but you could probably come up with another JD. Like, what is your full name? Is it not Jermaine Dupri? Is it Jerome Davis or something? Like, what is your full, like, you had to keep, like, you had no other idea how to name your kids after that? Okay. Shoot. So, the family comes in. We hear the concerns. Sayyora's side, they just want to make sure, they just want to know, well, he doesn't work. What is he doing while you're working to the bone, posting pics all day? What is he doing? He's not helping. She wants him to be in a better footing, financial standing, and the relationship can be toxic. He has jealousy tendencies. He acts possessive. He needs to have a job and a career. It's the same thing. Now, when his family sees it, they just look at the whole standards thing because their standards are you need to have an education and you need to have a job in order for you to be with my daughter. At first, I was completely turned off by her family's judgmental ways because you can still be someone and not have a college education. But the one thing that I definitely understood from them was they wanted him to put the effort, put the work. He doesn't do the work. His side, they want to get to know Sayyora more. They believe they have trust issues and communication needs to be addressed. The father, he lost his focus on football. He needs to get back into football because she could be a distraction. So Then after they disperse, his family is talking about, I hear nothing but standards all day, standards all day. What's up with that? Well, if he would have made it to the NFL, we wouldn't have had this discussion. But it's not just about that. No, yes, it is. If he has already been an established player making money, we would not be having this discussion. But he didn't. He stopped in the midst of him trying to make it to the NFL. And now, I don't know what else y'all grasping for straws as to why the family don't like him. Because he is not bringing nothing to the table. He's a bum. He's a bum who doesn't do nothing all day, but but pretty much has no choice but take pictures of his girlfriend, post pictures because they need money at the end of the day. They need to make money. So here we go. So the dad tries to make a joke about cooking neck bones and collard greens. She'll know nothing about that because Sayyora is about to make a traditional Russian dinner. So what was it that got you and JD to this point? She said their visions, their goals for the future was always the same. And why is it that your family standards are so high in education? Why is that? Because a high education and a high value is very prominent in their culture. And, you know, it makes you feel devalued. It makes you feel beneath if you feel like you don't have a career, that you shouldn't even be here. That's how it made it feel like in the episode. So it was asked of him, what is his career path? Right now, real estate. He's about to get a really good payment. Now, they were focusing on the words that he was using, which is will be. Yes, will be. Like I said before, real estate is a hustle game. You don't make a payment until you actually make a sale, and then you have to go through the sale. They have to separate the building sale between the seller's price. It has to go to the bank, it has to go to the firm, then the rest goes to you. It's a whole entire process when you're getting paid after selling the home. So the fact that it wasn't enough for them to understand what he meant about the time frame that he'll get paid didn't sit. So what else about football? Did you do it to please your dad or did you do it to love it? Now, what I didn't like was that JD spoke so low this episode. I got irritated because he just kept doing, oh, I mean, it's only gonna, I guess my dad don't like it. I don't, I mean, if I say Sayyora, I don't. He just kept speaking so low. And my subtitles did not help. I'm like, speak up, JD. Speak up. So then it's the whole thing. He loved Sayyora more than he loved basketball. But they felt like he was going around the question of what do you love most, which is football or this. So since he don't know his direction and he don't know what the question is asking, he just said whatever he wanted to say. So it's focused on real estate. So it was asked to Sayyora, how do you make your money? I have a subscription-based website, aka OnlyFans, that she takes pictures, not nude pictures, sexy pictures, bikini pictures, lingerie pictures, and at some point, JD has helped her position her pictures with the way that she posed. He helped her with her content, so he didn't know. The family didn't know that he's also helped because the dad was like, "You gotta stop doing that. That's advertising." But she said, "What am I gonna do? How the bills are gonna get paid?" I'm not mad at the way that she did it because I also believe when you are dating someone of the Instagram world, you are gonna have to pretty much kind of accept it because that's how they make their money. But what you need to do is also have a conversation where you don't feel insecure about the pictures that she's posting. If you know what she's posting, because that's what you saw her as. You saw her bikini pics and then you got to know her more. But she's not going to stop her bread because she's dating you. If that was the case, you need to already be making some money so she can't stop posting for money. She just posts because she wants to post. So, how do you see yourself defeating the family because she's the breadwinner? Because the aunt is basically saying any man in your shoes will feel so comfortable that the woman is paying for everything. Come to find out, she pays the rent. She pays the car note. She buys the groceries. I'm like, you don't do nothing, JD. How long have you been in real estate? And how long have you been trying to get a sale out? Because if you're just not waiting for a payment, what have you been doing in the meantime? It goes back to the timeline of how they've been together. So it's taken for granted. And he said that if I was to do what y'all say I'm doing, I could treat her badly, but I don't. But at the end of the day, JD, I'm not mad at the family. You're dating my daughter, but you're not bringing nothing to the table. And she's the one pretty much putting herself out there, buying everything to put money on the table. And what are you doing? Just taking it. Just taking it for granted, just taking the fact that she's supposed to do everything for you. But yet you get jealous, possessive when you guys are in the presence of other people. Even though you're posting the pictures of her in her bikini, you pretty much kind of like don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, but yet you feel like you're in control of what she do, but you don't, because you're not participating, you're not contributing to anything. So I feel like you can't do shit but sit there and eat. Sit there and take it, because at the end of the day, she's the one footing the bill and you're not doing nothing. So then they want to find out by why is he so jealous, the circumstances of what it means, of being with her. And they know that what she did was wrong when she broke his trust. By the same point in time, the way that you're acting is a little bit eerie. It's a little bit red flagging for me. So then he said, listen, I'm not trying to act like that. I am possessive to what's mine. Red flag all the way around, which led for the antennas from the cousin, the aunt, the mom to say, that's scary. She's not an object. She's not your property. She's your girlfriend, and you're not treating her like that. You're treating her like something that she's supposed to just be for you and you only. That's not good. That's not healthy. I don't like that. Family dinner, they talk about the task. Now, Sayyora was crying a lot this episode. And I felt like, is she crying for sympathy or she's crying for the TV? I don't know. But later in the episode, when she cried, I definitely felt that. So the whole thing about how she still has to walk on eggshells for admitting her mistake of cheating on him. And it does, it's a game to him. He likes placing her in the blame of what led to them in this moment. Obviously, y'all got together too fast. Y'all did not conversate. You saw an opportunity to be with her and you bullied your way into being it. And she doesn't know how to escape it. Pretty much why she came on here. So the brother wants to say, what about how she does for money? The parents say, her family, she's getting her money. Granted, it made it seem as if, so you guys are okay with her subjecting herself to this way of making money, but at the same point in time, she still needs to make money. Either way, she's footing the bill. She's the one that's working. JD is not. And he's talking about how I provide nothing for her. I don't provide nothing but support. You can't provide stability. And I don't know what it means for you to just say I provide stability, I provide support, if you're not doing your part of being supportive. She's carrying everything on her back. Everything is on her back. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't say you a house husband because you're not doing nothing. So the whole thing about if he was in another person's shoes, they'll be appreciative. If that person was in your shoes, they would bring something to the table. They'll probably be a much more better footing than she is, so she won't have to do like this. She'll probably won't have to post as much as she has to make all the bills, all the ends meet. So since you didn't bring nothing to the table, what are you here for? So then they checked him on the possessive word. He wanted to switch it up and say, I'm protective. No, you meant possessive. And that's alarming and that's scary. And I wouldn't want my daughter to be subjected to being an object for you. I don't want that. So, but then I don't like how her family felt like he was yelling at her and they got scared, but y'all both were engaging in an argument where it got heated. You coming at him about the standards on how he can't be nothing more than a paycheck, which sometimes could feel like that's all good. So, like I said, you know what I'm saying? You can't possibly feel like you have more to say to someone else and how what you're feeling is invalid, but yet my main daughter is the one that's suffering. She's doing everything all on her own and you're not contributing to it. So she's telling her mother, listen, I know y'all say I'm smart. This is the guy that I chose. Please just respect my feelings. And he's upstairs trying to say, listen, everybody's on edge. Let's just calm down. But I don't want this. I thought we were going to a good place, but we're starting from scratch and zeros. JD doesn't take accountability of how he can be presented, especially when it came to the possessive word. He literally feels like what happens to him is not his fault, or what he says is not his fault. It's everybody else's. Now, we can check Sayyora about what she did, but we haven't checked JD because we found out that his trust issues stem from his mother vanishing when they were small, and we haven't addressed those abandonment issues. So, day 2. Everybody feeling drained. The whole misunderstanding comes up, like he can't offer anything. And Tracy said, listen, if you keep telling me that they devaluing you, you don't bring it to the table, in your mind, you're starting to believe it. Do you feel like you bring something to Sayyora's life as help, as value? He said, yeah, but I don't like you. Well, turns out it's nothing wrong with what their standards are. You obviously don't feel like you bring nothing to the table. So with her, she says, I held my own. I cried, but I just don't like being perceived as if I am a distraction to you, which is what your father said. So with football, I don't think JD even wanted to do football. I just think it was a crutch for his father to put him in so he can figure out a way to maybe raise him in a way that he wanted to. Like, since they don't talk about nothing else, all about football, 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 it is pretty much a crutch to hop over to the main issues, because this boy has gone through life with thinking that he can do what he wants without getting questioned. So how do you build from you not being in football? How do you build from you thinking that you can contribute more? He don't know. Do you believe that you don't feel up to her standards? He kept on saying, yeah, with what? Well, maybe the jealousy and the education, I guess, and all that. Well, JD, I'm sorry. Speak up, sir. Speak up. You know what I'm saying? So, with Tracy trying to understand how he is kind of not seeing what they're seeing, but at the same point in time, she tries to break it down for him. How is it that you can feel like you don't bring nothing to the table, but yet you feel like you are for her? With the way that her family is looking at you, you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't pay a bill, you don't pay a car note. You're just there, taking my daughter for granted. And Sayyora is not seeing it. And seeing the possessive way he acts, she feels like, is this a marriage that you want to be in? She said, I thought I would, say I believe him. I thought that I would look past it. I thought I would be, the one who can say I believe him and he'll do better, but I don't know. So then we're stemming from the issues of him being left. Because if he feels like Sayyora has the potential to leave, he doesn't want her to go. And it's stemming from him being left as a child by his mother. So we need to dig deep into those issues and talk to your father. But his father don't want to open that door because his father feel like that's not what we're here for. Like, it was a lot of holes missing in this episode for everybody to get the full understanding, because I don't think we stem from what JD is actually going through. JD needs intensive therapy. Sayyora does as well, but no, for them, more. So because how he keeps on holding on to her cheating. If she cheated once, you're going to have to let it go. But the fact you held on to it for 6 months to make her feel guilty, to pretty much plan her demise, plan her making a way to feel weak, insecure, how she has no one but you to lean on to, is very toxic. And you need to find out why you're lashing onto how her mother feels about her daughter doing better is because you don't feel like you deserve it. But you need to stem to that issues because her mother sees more in her daughter. That should be a guise for you to pick up your shit and make it better. But you haven't. You think it's all about Sayyora needing to fixing it. Sayyora needs to continue to fix it because she's the one that screwed up. We already got that part, JD. But how long you gonna keep punishing her? And you only punishing her because it's escaping from your responsibilities to pick up the pace and be a man and step up. So we're having to sit down with his dad. And his dad saying that he's trying to grasp at straws by finding other things in the past and not fix his main situation. But it's from that we need to find the root of the issue. The issue is his mother left, and that's his abandonment issues. And he feels like if Sayyora was to leave, he feels abandoned. So he said, we're going to open up the box. So he said that his mother came from an abusive family, but her mother wanted differently. Her mother wanted to marry a doctor or a lawyer, and he thought that he'll be a difference. He'll give her a better life. But then he said, I ended up doing the same thing that her mother did, and she vanished. I didn't understand what that meant. And then I said, vanish is a very strong word. You mean she just left? Or was you being a drill sergeant and you put a whole lot of pressure on her to being this type of woman for you and she couldn't handle it? And she left and you took that same bitter hatred against her leaving you with the 3 kids. You practically instilled your bitterness in your children. Bitterness towards you making them feel responsible for her leaving you. And instead of you taking responsibility of how you made her feel. So since you didn't want JD to find that out, you pretty much not explained the whole thing, in my opinion. And he never remarried, and he still has this strict guise about continuing to live the way that he wants JD to live through what he wants him to do. And he felt like JD lost his way when he played. I don't think JD even wanted to play, but I think since his father was the only one there, he had to listen and pretty much did everything he could to please his father. So then He thought that they were on the right track. I don't think so. I think this needed more than one therapy session, in my opinion. So Sayyora believes everybody is coming to a good point. Then she feels a little light. She changed her dress, and then she was getting mic'd, and the mic guy was behind her. And then JD comes in, and he has a look on his face. When they finish, he says, "See, that's the thing I'm talking about. You do little things." She said, "What did I do? Do you have a problem with the way I got mic'd?" He said, "We'll talk about it later." So she's outside smoking a cigarette, and he comes outside, not realizing that there are cameras in every corner of the perimeter. He yanks the mic from her back, and I didn't like that. I said, "Stop yanking the mic from her." So then he said, "You're not finna play me. You're a fucking liar." So he pretty much corners her into the bathroom. "Don't let the camera people come in." She said, "Don't grab me like that. You're pissing me off. Don't do that." Then she said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I didn't know I made you feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Like, he practically pushed her into a corner. I don't know if he grabbed her, but that was a very intense and scary moment for me, for her to completely break down and apologize for something that I don't believe she did anything wrong, because we're gonna find out the extent of how he felt later. But I still don't think it warranted that behavior for you to get physical and pretty much back her into a corner where she's afraid of you. So then her mom comes banging in, and she said, "Listen, we can't do this. We're getting a hotel. We're leaving. This is not how I want my daughter to live her life." Then JD's outside on the balcony saying he got ahead of himself. He's entirely to blame. But I feel like you shouldn't have been in this type of mindset to begin with. You should hold your composure and completely express how you want to feel. But I think you also try to make Sayyora feel like she is exposing herself to every man that she meets. Y'all ever see that movie, this old Lifetime movie called No One Would Tell, with Candace Cameron Bure and what's his name? Not Joe Savage. I forgot his name. Fred Savage. Yeah, how he practically felt like every guy that she was around, she's a slut. She's a hoe. She disrespected me. And he would hit her. And she would feel like that's love. And that's not love. That's dangerous. That's toxic. That's scary. You keep going this way, he's going to really hurt you. So they got out, and oh, day 3. There is no blessing ceremony because we ain't gonna bless this shit. So she's definitely feeling like a hypocrite. I have been the one saying it's different, but I have been so blind to the signs. Even when we got back together, even when he said he was sorry, I still did it. I still accepted it. JD goes on about how he understood, he's wanting to fix it, but there is no fixing it. The relationship is over. There is no talking. There is no way of cornering me to make me feel like I can stay in this relationship. Tracy knows she's not wearing her ring. And when she noticed it, he noticed it. He started staring at her with the death stare, and she felt so scared, so uncomfortable. Tracy had to call his name 5 times for him to say, for her to say, "You cannot stare at her like that. That's a very threatening stare." So then it's like the whole understanding, like, I want us to work better. I want us to do this. I want us to, I'm understanding my fault, right? So why can't we fix it? No, there's no fixing it. You have you have deeper feelings about yourself. You have internal anger, internal angst that you need to heal. And it cannot be healed in this relationship. This is over. So she said, "Can you move out peacefully without fighting in the same day? Can you do that? Because this is not healthy for me." So she asked Sayyora to leave. And Tracy tries to tell him he needs to think clearly, and he needs to think positive, and he needs to get focus on getting help. He didn't want to hear this. Say, "Can I go now?" She said, "Fine." So when they all come back from the session, he's sitting on the opposite side of the chair with his glasses on. Oh, now he's really pissed. He got his glasses on. He don't want nobody to see his face. There will be no marriage. Sayyora feels like this is not the best marriage for her, so she decided to leave. Her parents are relieved. His family is all dumb. Like, what happened? Y'all wasn't present. Y'all didn't hear the commotion. What was y'all doing? Turn the blind eye for your brother, for your son? Okay. So y'all need to take a separate journey. The father kept going on this episode. They need to pray. You need to put Jesus in it. That's correct, Father, JD. That's correct. But they need to do this separately, because this is not healthy for neither one of them. They each had a very long self-healing journey ahead of them. So he's talking about he needs to own his mistakes. He's going to improve better. And Sayyora is going to love her for her, and she's going to continue her journey. Her family is very happy that she decided to live for her and not for him. So they get back to the update. The update is Sayyora's in her final year of law school, and they have not had any contact with each other for over a month. She's pursuing her law school degree, final year. She continues to post pictures of her subscription-based website to pay bills, and he's still pursuing real estate. And that was the end of the episode. This episode, like I said, was really interesting, really mind-blowing, but it definitely goes to show that sometimes these women come on these shows, they seek help in a way that this is the only way they're going to seek help. But that's it, you guys. Peace. Until the next video, and I'm going to see you guys later.